Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Explorer channel. Let's do a different type of video today. I believe this is a thing I'm going to introduce to the channel, just me ranting about some news over Bitcoin, because look at what these dummies on the German government, look at what they're doing. So they're just basically dumping some of their Bitcoin holdings. I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if they're just investing the millions that they're getting from there into something, but it doesn't make any sense to let go of the strongest currency ever to be created in the universe for some lazy fiat. That's what's happening. They're trading the very asset that they own that outperforms everything else, and it's ever appreciating, unlike fiat, which is a depreciating asset. And not only that, it's the only asset that even if the banks would go down tomorrow or today, you could scale an economy all around Bitcoin because it's not centralized. There's no entity that can maliciously influence the community or the distribution of Bitcoin, unlike fiat, unlike the banking system. And that just proves, Bitcoin itself just proves that banks are obsolete and fiat is a depreciating asset that if you sit on it or if you let it sit in a bank, it's going to be worth less 10 years from now than today. It will buy you less things in 10 years than compared as of today. Look at what you were able to buy with $1,000 or with 1,000 euros 10 years ago, and look what you can buy with the same fiat amount today. It's not going to be the same. That's why you see minimum wage getting higher and higher in a cyclical way, but you never see that reflected in the quality of living of the population that is working for minimum wage. Let that sink in, guys. That's inflation. It's real. It's controlled by the governments and by the banks. They go hand in hand. They need each other to survive. And Bitcoin just proves all of that to be obsolete. And in the meanwhile, we have these dummies with governments. And by the way, shout out to the president of El Salvador, which seems to be the only sane person in the world which is currently in front of deciding the future of a country that is doing a smart thing. It's investing in Bitcoin. It's being friendly towards Bitcoin. It's growing its nation's Bitcoin assets by the day. It's not selling, they're buying because they, and anyone who does understand Bitcoin to the very least, they will know that Bitcoin is the strongest currency in the whole universe. So let's go ahead and hit the key points here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I just did, but I don't want to make a long type of video, and I just want to give you my 2 cents on it. And by the way, if you haven't bought on Bitcoin because you're thinking it's too late now, it's too expensive, you don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin. You can buy like $10, 10 euros worth of Bitcoin a day or a month or a week. It's much better than leaving it sitting in the bank as fiat, because like we have been seeing for the past few years, fiat is a decaying asset. It's a zombie type of currency. All right, it's decaying by the day, unlike Bitcoin. So for weeks, the Germany's government has been selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, which is insane. Why would you sell the only asset that you own that keeps on appreciating value, right? Placing selling pressure on the world's largest cryptocurrency. In tandem with these sales, Bitcoin has seen its price fall dramatically. On Friday, the token hit its lowest level since February 2024. So if you're a German citizen and you are also bullish about Bitcoin as myself, think about these two things. So what is government in Germany doing for you? Nothing. They're printing more money, so they are contributing to inflation with fiat, that zombie currency, and at the same time they're dumping Bitcoin's price, which in the long run won't hurt a thing. Actually, they're doing you a favor. Although I was about to say that they're devaluating your Bitcoin, and they are in the short term. But in the long term, actually, they're doing all of us throughout the world a favor because you get to buy more Bitcoin at a sale. That's what's going on. So that was not my intention in the beginning of the video. I was about to call these guys a bunch of dummies, and they are. But thank you so much for dropping Bitcoin's price, because I'm always looking for a Bitcoin sale, and thank you guys for making that possible. Now, the police in the eastern German state of Saxony seized close to 50,000 Bitcoins mid-January, worth about 2.2 billion at the time of the seizure. Even after a raft of sales in recent weeks, Germany's Federal Criminal Police Office still holds roughly 32,488 Bitcoins, worth around 1.9 bill at today's prices. So this is extremely interesting, guys. Like, whenever there's police activities that they intercept some money, fiat money, they do intercept that. I don't know what they do with it, to be honest. But with Bitcoin, it seems that they are dumping some of those assets, at least. So they're seemingly selling an asset that they don't understand. And for that reason, let me scroll back down here, because this is a very important aspect that I want to share with you. Now, there is a lady in the German parliament, the German Bundestag, and she is called Joanna Kotar. So let me go through this paragraph here. Joanna Kotar, a member of the German Bundestag, which is the country's parliament, said in a post on X last month that rather than selling its Bitcoin, the government should be holding the token as a strategic reserve currency. I agree with her. So she seems to be, I'm sure she's not the only one, but she seems to be one of the few sane politicians in the German Bundestag. So Kotar said she has written to the German Chancellor, Finance Minister Christian Lindner, and also Saxony Minister to tell them selling Bitcoin is not only sensible but counterproductive. That's a wise woman right there. She said she's invited the German officials to a lecture with Samson Mao, prominent Bitcoin influencer, on October 17th at the Paul Loeb House building in Berlin. You know what? This would be a good idea. Sit all of these dummy politicians, all of these puppets, sit them in a room, make it mandatory for them to understand Bitcoin. Because if you are in charge of the destiny of a nation, you should be informed of the decisions that you are making. And right now, how they are treating Bitcoin, if you are a German citizen and you know about Bitcoin and you understand Bitcoin, you should not be happy. I'm happy just because of one thing. They dumping Bitcoin, lowering the price, it's better. It gives me a better dollar cost averaging price when I'm buying more Bitcoin. So thank you for that, I guess. But regardless, if you are a German citizen and you understand Bitcoin, you know what they're doing. It's messed up. Like they're just, it's like that story where the guys killed the golden goose, right? So they killed the goose just because they wanted to access all of those golden eggs inside. And it seems to be the same thing that they're doing with Bitcoin. So it's kind of crazy, but it's sad to see these things happening, because when you look at Bitcoin, you cannot look at today's prices. It's a coin, a currency that at some point in time, one Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin. It's not going to be valued by fiat standards. It's a completely different ball game, guys. Let me close up this video with this meme for Bitcoin. Now, needless to say, this is from the movie Matrix, and it just goes to show that Bitcoin, it's a completely different ballgame. Maybe it will be worth 1 million, 10 millions from today. We don't know, because the bottom of it is that one Bitcoin is and always is going to be equivalent to one Bitcoin. You might think that doesn't make really any much sense, but just think about this. Bitcoin is an asset that is capped, so there's scarcity involved, unlike fiat. So it already gets the upper hand for the current traditional financial system on that basis. So it's going to be very scarce. it can't be controlled by a centralized authority. It's community driven. You can set yourself a miner and start contributing to the Bitcoin network today. Simple as that. And this is the end game, guys. It's just it. You don't have to trade your Bitcoin for millions because your Bitcoin, it's priceless. It's an inelastic asset. Let that sink in. See what the big players are doing behind the stages. See what BlackRock is doing by buying more Bitcoin every day through the ETFs than the amount of Bitcoins which are being generated, that are being mined. I'm going to repeat that. BlackRock are buying more Bitcoin every single day than the amount of Bitcoins which are being mined. That's for a reason. They're not doing that to lose money. They control the world, they want to keep controlling the world, and they do see and they do know the potential on Bitcoin. So don't do what they tell you to do, because the mainstream media that pushes their narratives will tell you what they have been telling you for the past decade or more. Bitcoin is wrong, it's for criminals, it's for money laundering, and all of that is a huge load of BS. Actually, Bitcoin is more transparent and more safe than any centralized bank has ever been in history. And that's why they push the narrative of it's wrong and it's something which is managed by criminals, which is all a bunch of BS, guys. Like I said, if you want to know more about generating Bitcoin nowadays, or Ethereum, another blue chip asset, but if you're bullish on Bitcoin as I am, check the description. I got a couple of videos there showing you how you can earn more Bitcoin by providing liquidity with liquidity pools. Again, banks are obsolete. You don't need banks. You are your own bank when you provide liquidity, and you earn on top of it. You earn the trading fees that people generate when they do trade the assets that you provide liquidity to. So if you want to know more about that, check the description. I got plenty of content also on my channel about it, and I will keep on pushing that type of content still in the future. And this is also the type of videos that I want to start doing more often, bringing the awareness of Bitcoin to people, common people, to the people who get in on crypto now or have already got into crypto, but they never thought about Bitcoin as an asset they should own because they think the train has left the station. Well, guys, think 10 years in advance. Bitcoin is going to go much higher than the current price, than the last all-time high, and it's only a matter of time. All right, thank you for watching, guys. Take care, stay safe. You know how crazy crypto can get, and I'll see you on the next one.